Here are today's top stories. The Armed Forces of the Philippines steps up humanitarian and disaster response efforts in communities affected by the Cebu earthquake and Typhoon Opong. The Office of Civil Defense assures that government agencies continue to provide aid to victims of the Cebu earthquake and recent storms. The Commission on Elections lifts the gun ban and all other election restrictions following the postponement of the Bangsamoro parliamentary polls. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines calls for a National Day of Prayer and Public Repentance amid corruption and calamities in the country. This is the Pna Headlines. I am William Theo. The Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, has stepped up its humanitarian assistance and disaster response efforts in areas affected by Typhoon Opong and the magnitude 6.9 earthquake in Cebu on September 30. The Philippine Air Force Tactical Operations Wing Central delivered essential relief goods to earthquake-affected communities in northern Cebu over the weekend. Air Force spokesperson Colonel Maria Cristina Basco said their Fokker and NC-212I aircraft transported relief goods from Cotabato City to Benito L. Ebuen Air Base in Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu. An S-70I Black Hawk helicopter also airlifted family food packs and drinking water from the provincial government of Cebu to Carnaza Island. Basco highlighted the AFP's steadfast commitment to supporting government disaster response and providing timely assistance to communities in need. Meanwhile, the Philippine Navy's BRP Dagupan City left Cavite on Saturday to transport 18,000 kilograms of donated relief goods for families displaced by the earthquake in Cebu. The vessel also brought vehicles and equipment, including a special rescue vehicle from the Valenzuela City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, along with contributions from Manila Water, the Philippine Army Civil Military Operations Regiment, and the Naval Reserve Center. The BRP Agta left Mandaue City, Cebu on the same day and transported over 44 tons of construction materials to Masbate City. The Navy said the Armed Forces has partnered with the Tanging Yaman Foundation to support rehabilitation efforts in areas hit by Typhoon Opong. For its part, the Philippine National Police deployed more personnel and resources to Cebu to assist in relief distribution, logistics, road clearing, security, and traffic management. Acting Police Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. said the PNP is coordinating with the provincial government and local disaster response teams, focusing aid distribution on remote communities. Meanwhile, the Office of Civil Defense, or OCD, assured the public that the government will continue to provide humanitarian assistance to communities damaged by the magnitude 6.9 earthquake and recent tropical cyclones. In a statement, the OCD said among its preparations include the establishment of a tent city in Bogus City and Cebu, a temporary relocation site for earthquake victims. It said science agencies, including the DENR, Mines and Geosciences Bureau, have provided hazard assessments to ensure the safety of the tent city. The Department of Health, or DOH, announced that it will step up medical stations in tent sites. For its part, the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development suspended housing amortization for victims of the earthquake and tropical cyclones Nando and Opong. The Department of Public Works and Highways also evaluated 110 critical infrastructures in Masbate and 278 structures in Cebu. In a separate statement, the Department of Information and Communications Technology reported the continued restoration of mobile network services in Masbate and Cebu. The Philippine National Police, Armed Forces of the Philippines Visayas Command, and Central Visayas Regional Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council are also jointly working on expediting a delivery. The OCD activated its National Interagency Coordinating Cell to coordinate and ensure the needs of calamity victims are addressed. Meanwhile, the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, or PCSO, Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, and Light Rail Transit Authority have spearheaded an aid caravan for disaster-hit communities in Cebu and Masbate. The caravan includes 12 patient transport vehicles, 5 dump trucks, and 6 wing vans that will deliver essential aid to residents. The 3 agencies called on the public to donate relief goods such as non-perishable food items, hygiene kits, bottled water, blankets, and medicine. Donations will be accepted across all LRT Line 2 stations in Metro Manila. In other news, the Commission on Elections, or Comelec, has lifted the gun ban across the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or BARMM, following the postponement of the BARMM Parliamentary Elections, or BPE, to next year. The Comelec issued a resolution dated October 3 lifting the gun ban and all other election prohibitions in the entire BARMM region, including the city of Isabela in Basilan. The poll body will also modify the schedule of activities, adding that the holding of the BPE may be held not later than the end of March 2026. Earlier, the Supreme Court declared Bangsamoro Autonomy Act numbers 58 and 77 as unconstitutional. The 2 laws created BARMM's parliamentary districts and reorganized 7 seats originally intended for Sulu. At the same time, the Comelec said it is awaiting compliance by the Bangsamoro Transition Authority on the determination of parliamentary districts on or before October 30. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, or CBCP, has called on clergy and the faithful to observe a month-long National Day of Prayer and Public Repentance starting this week, noting the country's continued struggles with national calamities and corruption. In a letter to dioceses, CBCP President and Caloocan Bishop Cardinal Pablo Virgilio David urged parishes, chapels, schools, families, and church organizations to participate in the observance, which coincides with the Feast of Our Lady of the Holy Rosary. David said the initiative serves as a prayer of national confession and contrition in the light of calamities afflicting the nation. The observance includes the recitation of a special prayer titled A National Cry for Mercy and Renewal, starting Tuesday and on succeeding Sundays until the Feast of Christ the King on November 23rd. David noted that the nationwide prayer is also a step in the journey of synodality, which is walking together as God's people, listening to the Spirit and to one another in humility and in hope. In our business news, the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, warned the public to take the highest degree of caution against persons and groups offering aid for scam victims. In a statement, the SEC said the offers for help are made through Facebook pages, online groups, and other social media platforms designed to defraud victims a second time. The offer came in a form of recovery fund previously lost to scams in exchange for advance fees or personal information. These groups also misrepresent affiliation with government agencies or law enforcement agencies, as well as fabricated testimonials, documents, or credentials to create a false appearance of legitimacy. The SEC added those involved in these scams likewise employ high-pressure tactics to induce victims into making immediate payments or disclosing sensitive personal or financial information. The Commission warns the public not to transact with, remit any sum to, or disclose personal information to such individuals or groups. Victims of scams are strongly urged to lodge their complaints directly with proper authorities for appropriate action. Meanwhile, Megaworld Corporation is positioning a 34-hectare mixed-use township Upper East located at Bacolod City as a major tourist destination. Megaworld has already launched almost 1,800 residential condominium units among the 5 properties in the Upper East. The construction is also ongoing for the 12-story, 300-room The Kingsford, the first development by Megaworld Hotels and Resorts in the city. Megaworld's first Vice President and Head of Public Relations and Media Affairs, Harold Geronimo, said that in the coming years, more tourism facilities will rise inside the township. Geronimo thanked the city government led by Mayor Greg Gasataya for naming Megaworld as a private sector representative to the City Tourism Council. He said that the company wants to boost Bacolod tourism, wherein more people are visiting and enjoying what Negros and Bacolod can offer. And those are the latest and the biggest stories from the PNA headlines. For more news updates, visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. You may also watch the PNA headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under PNA News. Stay with us for more news updates, and it is 80 days more to go before Christmas. As we wrap up the celebration of this year's National Teachers Month, we honor our teachers for being our second parent and guides in education, nationalism, and morality. Your teachings and sacrifices will show us and the next generation the way to be hardworking, forward-looking, and devoted Filipinos under the vision of Bagong Pilipinas. To all of our teachers, thank you. I am William Theo. This is the PNA Headlines, bringing you stories that unite the nation.